Are you always coming up with ideas? Do you marvel at successful business owners? Do you hate being told what to do? Ever take things apart just to see how they work? Are you a dreamer? If you've answered yes to any of these questions, this podcast is for you. Welcome to the Entrepreneurial Enclave with Kevin Wortham, the podcast that focuses on building, maintaining, pivoting, planning, and investing in you, the entrepreneur. But first, a word from our sponsor.
Pro Tapes and Specialties is the world leader in tape manufacturing and specialty conversion with over 40 years of experience. In addition to our Pro brand of high-quality specialty adhesive tapes, we provide contract converting services that help improve your profitability, streamline your supply chain, and reduce inventory cost. We offer the most complete range of converting capabilities in the industry, such as cloth tape, double-coated tape, specialty tape, paper tape, masking tape, vinyl tape,
carton sealing tape, adhesive transfer tape, duct tape, foam tape, electrical tape, filament tape, foil tape, reflective tape.
And the tape just keeps on rolling. Visit us online today at www.protapes.com or call us at 800-345-0234. Pro Tapes, it's just how we roll.
Welcome to another fantastic episode of the Entrepreneurial Enclave, Life's Coming Attraction. I am your host, Kevin Wortham. Listen, we are getting better and better each and every day. And so this young lady, who is coming to the platform this morning, she is simply incredible. And she really talks about bringing this community, this town, and perhaps this county together. Latarsha, welcome to the platform. How are you today?
I'm great. Thank you, Kevin.
Not a problem. So we're going to jump right into it. It was so great seeing you, and I'm probably going to mess it up. I want to call it a woman's summit last week, and I was so glad you were there, and I was probably like one of two men that were there. I came to support my cousin.
Yes.
But you gave me some handouts, and I had been meaning to call you because I had been meaning to wanting to interview, because I think the work that you're doing is so fantastic, so significant. And if my memory serves correctly, you've been doing this for almost 20 years now, correct?
Well, as far as volunteering, I began volunteering in 2011.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I remember minding our business. The very first one you had was at Cadwalder Park, correct?
Yes, okay. Sir.
So I'm going to give you the platform. So what's the name of the organization, and what was the impetus for you to be a part of that organization?
And so the name currently of the organization is the African American Cultural Collaborative of Mercer County.
Yes.
Back in 2011, when I began, I had never had a volunteer experience outside of high school. Volunteering my time in the community. But as a state employee, I work for the Division of Children and Families. My work since graduating from Trenton State College in '95 has been with adolescents,
yes.
At-risk youth. I began my career at the Mercer County Youth Detention Center as a youth worker. And from there, I went on to work in group homes and residentials, mental health programs, day treatment facilities for youth as one stop from their admittance to Jamesburg. I went on to work for the Division of Children and Families in 2004. And I began as an intake investigator. But my sole purpose was to work with adolescents within the system of the state of New Jersey. And so I got that opportunity, and I have been working with adolescents with children and families since 2009.
Wow.
And so it's been an amazing experience for me. I love working with youth, and that's the reason why I started volunteering. going into these homes in Trenton, throughout, New Jersey,
Yes.
and really specifically Trenton, seeing that, our families are not experiencing, the arts. They're not experiencing culture. They
Yes.
really don't understand and know their history and where they come from as Black people. And so I wanted to be a part of something that would bring that to the community. And lo and behold, I was reading the Trentonian one day, and L.A. Parker had this idea of the Pride Festival.
Yes.
And wanted to have a one-day event at Calwater Park with the main emphasis of highlighting our history and culture. And so, I had spoke to my husband that day. I said, you think I should go out and volunteer? He encouraged me. And that was the first time I went out to support the community outside of my, my 9 to 5. And I never forget meeting L.A. Parker at the Trenton Marriott at that time.
Yes.
And he asked me who I was. I said, I'm Latarsha Burke. And he said, so what is your expertise? And I said, I'm not sure what my expertise is, but, I will help in any way that I can. And that's
Yes.
how it all happened.
Wow. So if I understand this was L.A. Parker's original idea? Or
Yes.
Wow.
Yes. And
Wow.
so
Is he still supportive of you and the organization now that it's grown into something else?
Well, I see LA around,
Okay.
He's very happy about the work that we're doing, and he has said, need me, if you ever need, just reach out, but, since 2011, he had this amazing vision,
Yes.
and the first year of the Pride Festival, I think we had about 5,000 people at Calwater Park.
Yes.
It continued to grow into 2012, and then in 2013, he resigned.
Okay. Wow.
And I was voted in as the new executive director at that time.
Wow. Were you ready for it?
No, I was not. No, I was not ready for it because I did not have the knowledge of Trenton, of
Yes.
Mercer County, of who I did not know the who's who.
Yes.
I did not know who was connected to who.
Yes.
I did not know any of his funders because he was raising all the money to do the
Wow.
event.
Wow.
And so when he pretty much passed the baton, I'm like, how am I going to do this? Leading these people, outreaching for funding dollars to continue this amazing event.
Yes.
The only thing myself and the other board members and committee members knew is that we did not want this event to stop
Yes.
because it had such a great impact in the community. And so at that time, one of the co-founders, I believe, of the Pride Festival, Kareem Baya,
Yes.
we and Candace Frederick, it was just so many amazing people on that team. We said we was going to push forward, and we did.
Wow.
And so I never forget my first cold call to NJM, New Jersey Manufacturers Insurance at that time,
Yes.
and said, hello, my name is Latarsha Burke. I'm with the Pride Festival. We hope that you, fund us again this year.
Yes.
And the first question was, where's LA?
Wow.
Yes. So just kind of walking through that process and explaining, that he had resigned and so forth. They stayed on, and
Okay.
they are still a sponsor to this day.
Excellent.
And yeah. So it has been a growing experience for me. This volunteer effort has challenged me in ways I could not even explain, Kevin.
Okay.
I couldn't explain.
Well, we got
But
time. We got time.
Yeah. Yeah.
We can explore it.
Learning your environment,
Yes.
learning processes, learning the politics, just, learning the people, learning how invested folks from Trenton that were born and raised there are committed
Yes.
to each other, and supportive of each other.
Yes.
And myself being raised in Jersey City, it took some time for them to say, okay, she's not from Trenton, but we're going to support her.
Got you. Even though you were heading a committee that was doing good work in Trenton, you still had to go through your own personal vetting process. Wow.
Yeah, I had to go through a vetting process, and sometimes that vetting process continues to until this day.
Wait. Coming from people in Trenton now?
Yes, Clintonians. Yes.
Who doesn't know you?
Sometimes it takes more than just a name and a face.
Okay.
And I appreciate that.
Okay. Okay.
And that's actually helped me to develop, relationships. Really allowing them to kind of for them to get to know me, and to let them know that I'm doing this from the heart.
Yes.
It's definitely not from personal gain, because since 2011, no one on the team has ever gotten paid. It's been a complete volunteer effort.
Wow.
And so, in 2013, I became ED.
Yes.
And in 2014, we changed the name to the Trenton African American Cultural Festival.
Yes.
And from there, we continued at Catwater Park up until 2015 was our last event there. The event had grew. I think we had over 10,000 people in the park at that time.
Yes.
And what we were looking at then was finances. The fact that this volunteer effort has become like a business.
Yes.
We were signing contracts, we were paying people, we had these different vendors and so forth. We decided to take a step back, and kind of look at where we're going with this.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
And at the team, we decided that we were going to pursue our nonprofit status.
Okay.
And so we then became the African American Cultural Collaborative of Mercer County.
Yes.
Our goal was to serve Trenton and the Mercer County community as a whole.
Yes.
At that time, our events were solely based in Catwater Park.
Yes.
And so we went through the process of becoming a nonprofit, and we became a nonprofit on June 19th, 2017.
Oh, wow. Wow. That's all right. Yes. Wow.
Yes. That date is stamped on our paperwork, so I believe nothing is a coincidence,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
And then, as a part of our mission, our first event, I believe we pursued, was downtown Trenton.
Yes.
And that began with a conversation with 1911 Smokehouse Barbecue owner Maurice Hallett.
Okay.
I met Maurice, I think that was around the time they were just opening. And I asked him, I said, would you support blocking off this street, in front of your business and having like a block party?
Yes.
And he was in full support. He was my very first sponsor.
Yes.
But to say that Maurice Hallett is definitely more than a sponsor. He really pulled out every thing that he had to ensure that First Fridays continued.
Yes.
We started with 10 people on the block, and now we've expanded. I think this is our 7th year.
Oh, wow. Okay.
3 blocks. So we're on Front Street, we're on Warren Street, and we're trying to add Lafayette Street.
Awesome.
So,
Awesome.
so this has been an excellent journey, going from doing one event a year, and now we do events 10 months out of the year now.
I love it. Let me stop you for a second, because I know you need to take a breath, because that was fantastic.
Yes.
Thank you for sharing with us, because I didn't know all of that as to how you started and how you became. So thank you for that. But here's one of the things that I find interesting, and stop me if I'm wrong. It just seems like this should have been a easy road to go, because if you, as you look at other communities, seemingly this happens more organic than this. They just see a need and they just get together and everybody is pulling and rowing in the same direction. It just seems that way to me. And I don't know why it's so hard. Why is Trenton so hard-headed when it comes to growth? I don't know. Why is that?
I couldn't answer that,
Okay.
Mr. I mean, I just feel that, there are many amazing organizations outside of the collaborative in Trenton.
Yes.
But I think what happens is that we allow the negative to kind of override all the positive that's going on in the community. And it's a fight to basically be more upfront than the shooting that happened in West Trenton that same weekend, right?
Yes.
It's hard to say.
Okay.
There's so many factors when it comes to any urban city's development, right?
Okay.
I mean, you have the economic piece to it. You have the political piece to it. You have the fact that, the way Trenton is set up, it's the state capital. The way, I guess, funds or taxes are paid within that city. And I just think it's so many different factors to the overall development.
Got you.
Of a city. I recall when I came on to Trenton, and that was in 1990 as a student at Trenton State. I actually, to earn a couple of dollars, I went around campaigning for the mayor then, Doug Palmer.
Yes.
And Doug Palmer had been on for 20-something years, right?
Yeah, he served a total of 20 years. Yes.
Yeah, about 20 years. And so I think just, having a mayor in office for 20 years and then transitioning from that, I think everything is about growth and development. And it takes time. Change takes time. And I was naive to think that I was going to be a part of this event and we're going to, bring arts and culture and entertainment, to the city. And it's just going to improve the quality of life for the city overnight. There were so many other factors that come along with that type of implementation, right?
Okay.
I think I didn't take a look at really setting the foundation of the work. I just totally jumped into the work. And because of that, I had a lot of bumps and bruises.
Yeah. Well, sometimes it's best just to jump in, right? Because otherwise, standing on the sideline or the edge of the shore, waiting for the tide to go out or come in, you're like, I'm never getting in that water. It looks too rough. I got you.
It's good to jump in, but you don't know what that foot gonna hit when it hits the bottom of that water.
That's true too. That's true too.
Right. And so, for anyone that has a vision and they're starting from grassroots and, they just have the love in their heart, for community, that's great.
Yes.
But however, you have to learn and understand that community also. And really understand what the needs are, really understand the people,
Yes.
Take time to explore, take time to introduce yourself, be more strategic about it. And,
Gotcha.
in the beginning, personally for myself, looking back, I would have been more strategic. But we're here now. The collaborative, we have an amazing team of people
Yes.
That has worked together for years in order to fundraise,
Yes.
to bring this amazing programming. And I believe what's most special about our team is that we made a commitment that finances would never be a barrier to anyone enjoying our events or attending our events.
Yes.
And so we raised in the six figures for this city to put on events every year at no cost to the community.
Awesome.
And we don't highlight that, we don't blast that out, the collaborative raised this amount of money this year in order to do A, B, C, D, E, F, and G, because that's not why we do it. We do it to ensure that there's some consistency,
Yes.
that the community knows that they can look forward to First Fridays next year, that the community knows that they can look forward to Juneteenth, the community knows now that they can look forward to the Levitt Amp concert series because they're the new grantees for that concert series.
Yes.
So, it's been amazing, Kevin. I wouldn't change one thing about these it's going on 12 years now.
Yes. So, but listen, congratulations. Thank you for being at the helm. And then for me, thank you for not being strategic in the beginning because you might have said, I don't want to do this, but I'm so glad that was not in your bellywick. And you said, let's just do it. Let's just jump in and figure it out as we go along. So thank you.
That's what we did. And I can't take, all the credit.
Yeah.
He has, like I said, so many people on that team that said, you know what, we're going to push through.
Yes.
And, we've had many members, of the Trenton community join this effort. We couldn't do nothing without our volunteers. We couldn't do anything without these committee members, attending meetings 2, 3, 4 times a week.
Yes.
Coming, doing work after their work hours, meeting on Saturdays and Sundays, like doing whatever it took.
Yes.
To make things, continue to move forward.
Awesome. Now, I know I shouldn't ask this, but do you want to give a shout out to anyone? Anyone on your team?
Yes.
Okay.
Of course.
Come, let's go.
I need to give a shout out to my board member and Alpha Kappa Alpha sister, Helen Jones Walker, to my executive assistant, Cheryl Thomas, to our logistics coordinator, Patrick Hall, to the treasurer, Sheila Garvin Glover, to Regina, our volunteer coordinator, to Timothy Robinson, our cultural education chair, to Michael Nelson, who recently joined the team to support planning for these events. Bella Simmons, also a part of the events committee. Patricia Laventure, she is a part of our outreach committee. And we also have Katie Anatiri. She helps with all the tech needs for the organization. And also our graphics person, Sabrina McCall, and Princess Hickman.
Yes.
She manages my website. And to our advisors, Mr. Gene Bowie, Mr. Gerald Trueheart, and Thaddeus Taylor. And that was all off the top of my head.
Well, I mean, it should be. You're the executive director, right? You know where all the bones buried.
And to the numerous volunteers that support these programs. So
yes. Now, curious question. Do you work hand in hand with the city of Trenton through their cultural affairs department and Department of Recreation?
Yes, I do. And before I answer that question, I cannot forget our newest honorary chairperson, Judge Mark McKisson. I'm sorry, I forgot him.
Got you. Thank you.
Yes.
Man, that was fantastic. So at some point, you're going to have to retire and do this full time, right?
Yes. and God willing, that is in my future.
That's all right.
I'm praying on that.
So now let's go back to First Friday. So now, when does First Friday start?
It begins May 5th.
May 5th. All right.
Mm-hmm. It goes May 5th to October.
Okay. Now let me ask this question: has there ever been discussion to continue not so much First Fridays, but to do something every Friday in the warmer months, downtown or somewhere like that?
Well, capacity is everything, right? And
Gotcha.
so, again, we are all volunteers. This is not a full-time job for us.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
If it's a full-time job, I would say that would be a possibility.
Yes.
However, outside of First Fridays, Maurice Hallett has Fridays on Front that happens the other 3 Fridays
yes. Yeah.
of the month. so he has tried to continue that after our First Fridays event,
Yes.
which is great. It's great for the businesses downtown, and that's another reason we do it. To bring activity to downtown Trenton to support our local businesses.
Yes.
You asked about the city. I got to give a shout out to Director Maria Richardson.
Yes.
She has been absolutely amazing.
Okay.
There's nothing short that she wouldn't do to support the collaborative.
Awesome.
They have come in now as a partner to First Fridays.
Yes.
And they provide us with a lot of in-kind services, a lot of in-kind support.
Yes.
Anytime I reach out to Maria, whether it's via me calling her, texting her, or emailing her, she's responsive, and she wants nothing but the best for the city, and will do whatever it takes to provide amazing programming.
Awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So now we move to the Juneteenth weekend.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Now, tell me how that's going to work, because last year it was downtown Trenton, right?
Yes, it was.
And that was for 2 days, correct?
Yes, Friday and Saturday. The first one we had was Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, because we ended with a gospel concert. Year 2 was just Friday and Saturday.
Yes.
But this year, my goal was to bring other organizations in, because it's really it should be a citywide or countywide celebration, right?
Statewide.
Well, it is statewide, but I'm just talking within Mercer County, right?
Yes.
And I found that last year there were multiple events going on within the county around Juneteenth, right? And so, for me this year, I wanted to ensure that it just wasn't a collaborative, doing that major event in Mill Hill Park.
Yes.
And so what we did, we have partnered with the National Sorority of Phi Delta Kappa to do our third African American History Bowl at the state auditorium on June 3rd to kick off Juneteenth month.
Yes.
And so we're going to kick off with the Juneteenth with the African American History Bowl.
Yes.
And then the following week, on the 10th, the county is doing Juneteenth at Capital City Farms, right on Clinton Avenue.
Okay.
So they're going to have a really nice event there in honor of Juneteenth.
Yes.
And the very next day, on June 11th, Gerald Trueheart and the William Trent House is doing the first African ancestry reveal.
Okay.
Right. And then the following week is the collaborative. We're going to do our kickoff Juneteenth event at the New Jersey State Annex. And then the next day, we're going to be at Mercer County Festival Grounds for a finale event.
Oh, so now let me stop you. When you said Gerald Trueheart, he's going to do the first ancestral reveal?
African ancestry.
Okay, now
Mm-hmm.
share more about that one. That's interesting.
So, African ancestry, where families can join this effort in learning about, again, their history and their culture, and they'll go through that DNA process to find, and so we're collaborating with Gerald Trueheart, to support some families in Trenton, finding out their history.
Okay, that should be interesting. Wow.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That should be interesting. And so we want to
be more inclusive, of other folks that have great ideas around Juneteenth, and not only, focusing on the, collaborative events.
Yes.
And so if you see our sponsorship packages, all these events are listed on our sponsorship packages because we want to support everyone.
Absolutely. Now, you also mentioned that the following week you're going to be at the State House Annex?
Yes.
Okay.
The first 2 years of Juneteenth, the first two events, we did a kickoff event at the War Memorial.
Yes.
That's RSVP. It took place from like 5 to 9 p.m.
Yes.
This year we moved it from the War Memorial to be at the New Jersey State Annex, where the water fountain is.
Yes.
on West State Street. We're going to do it there this year.
Awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, man, you guys are moving and grooving. This is all right.
Yeah. We just try to up the game every year.
Yes.
We stay consistent and up the game. And again, we can't do this without sponsors like the City of Trenton.
Yes.
We can't do it without the Mercer County Park Commission.
Yes.
Shout out to Aaron Watson. Again, if the vision makes sense, he definitely supports it,
Awesome.
And
Awesome.
I'm elated about bringing Juneteenth to the festival grounds this year with our partners from the Legislative District 15, Assemblywoman Verlena Reynolds-Jackson,
Yes.
Senator Shirley Turner, Assemblyman Anthony Borelli, and the Outdoor Equity Alliance, and Mercer County Park Commission is now a partner to Juneteenth. So we have an amazing lineup scheduled for the community for Juneteenth at the festival grounds. I'm really excited.
Well, first of all, I'm excited for you that you remembered all those people that you had to thank and shout out. Because, man, you're saying the Outdoor Alliance. Yeah, that's beautiful.
Yes,
that's just
important. So many folks that help.
Yeah.
So many folks that come together. So, yes, there is positivity in the city of Trenton.
Yes.
Like, we are growing because now I feel like the culture of collaboration is being accepted more, right? We can do more together than separate.
You know what's so funny, right? Is that it's like energy, vibing, and alignment, right? I think, and I'm probably totally wrong. Most times I am. That after the pandemic and after this whole George Floyd piece, as we're coming out of that, right, everybody wants to know more about who we are as a culture, even folks within the culture. And we want to celebrate that now. So it's like we want this individual look about us, but we also want you to know more about us as well. And so I think everybody's just kind of gravitating towards that, right? And I just see what we're doing as a culture on TV. Certain things that we just took for granted. Like if I'm watching TV for a whole day, right, which is probably not good, but it's almost like 90% of the commercials have a African American influence. But we never think, like every commercial, some of the, something like you look at a McDonald's commercial, right? It's like 90% of the commercials have this Afrocentric African American tone to it, right? But yet and still the larger part don't want us to be inclusive in the whole decision-making process, the higher up. So I am so excited that we are beginning to pull back the layers and through a wonderful medium like this, we're beginning to show folks that you've got to work with us because culturally, we bring a lot to the table. So I just thank you and your team. And wow, this is fantastic.
And, Kevin, I see the progression, like even with First Friday, right? Before, when it first started, it was, 1911 Smokehouse Barbecue, right?
Yes.
7 years later, now the businesses in downtown are in full support.
Yes.
Hartnell's, the Big Easy.
Yes.
Warren Street Multi-Services, Downtown Deli, Starbucks,
yes.
Hummingbird, the Skillet. All these folks are participating and they're staying open later.
Yes. Yes.
That was the struggle. Now they're like, okay, we're going to stay open later for First Friday.
Yeah.
So I think, again, folks need to see consistency, right?
Yes.
And they the progression, of the event.
Yes.
He even got the bowls, the brothers. I'm gonna mess this up. The brothers of law enforcement. Something.
Yeah.
Yes.
Bowls. Yes.
Bowls. They will even be participating, and I'm thankful to Lieutenant Bethesda Stokes Turner.
Yes.
She come on in full support of First Fridays, and they will have a presence at First Fridays.
Yes.
The roller skating clubs are going to be down there. Trenton Skates and Rolling Royalty
Yes.
will be, at First Fridays. So everyone is coming aboard. Everyone is excited. And yes, COVID, I think, made us value connection and social connections even more.
Yes.
And so, everyone's ready.
Yes.
And I hope and I pray that it will be, again, another fruitful year for our businesses and a safe, great time for our families.
Yes. Now let's jump in deep. Now, you ready?
Mm-hmm.
What have been some of the major challenges that you and the organization had to overcome? And I think you've mentioned some of that, but what are some more of them?
Kevin, I wouldn't even call it a challenge. I would say it's just a part of the process.
Okay.
Right?
Okay, yes.
I think I'm going to speak for myself. One of my major challenges is time.
Well. I mean, for you have 36 hours in a day, don't you?
I wish I had 48. I work a 9 to 5.
Yes.
So there's a lot of opportunities, networking opportunities, professional development opportunities that I can take part in as a CEO of an nonprofit.
Yes.
And so a lot of that learning is coming from just independent, me learning by trial and error.
Yes.
Having amazing advisors
yes.
that support me.
Yes.
The Kitson, Gerald Trueheart, Gene Bowie, and Pastor Thaddeus.
Yes.
They support me with questions that I have. They support me, if having some type of conflict or frustration. They add perspective to the work.
Awesome. Yes.
Helen Jones Walker, my team, they are a constant source of reassurance for me,
Gotcha.
So I know that if this was my full-time pursuit,
yes,
that I will be able to take advantage of all the necessary trainings and the necessary networking opportunities that I know I should be attending, and I know my face should be there. If I was able to take advantage of all those things, I believe that we will continue to prosper at even a greater rate.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
And so, as you spoke about earlier, yes, I'm looking to the future. I'm looking to the future of what the African American Culture Collaborative is going to be to this Mercer County community. But I'm also looking at how, as an organization, we need to develop in order to meet the need.
Understood. Any regrets that you have thus far? Well, outside of not having enough hours and not being able to go full time with this.
Yes, there are some regrets.
Okay.
In this journey and as a Black woman, leading an organization, there were some tough times, with folks in the community, with a few team members. And in order to stand my ground and to just let people know that I'm serious about what I'm doing, I'm serious about this organization. There are things that are just not acceptable in my eyes.
Yes.
And looking back, I probably would have approached it a little differently because those team members were very valuable to the work that we do.
Yes.
And due to just differences in opinion, they may have left or just resigned from the organization.
Yes.
And so I think about that a lot. I think about all the amazing gifts people in the community have.
Yes.
Right. And they don't know the avenue of which to express their gifts.
Understood.
And I want to be an organization where they feel open to coming and sharing those gifts with the thought that it's going to be the larger picture is to benefit your community.
Yes.
It's not about me or what I can get out the deal. The greater picture is how is it going to benefit our people.
Yes.
And that's how I look at this work every day. This is not about Tasha. This is not about Helen or Regina. This is about God's mission. I believe it's a mission from God for us to do this work within the community.
All right.
And,
All right.
I think soon I'll be touching back with some of those folks and kind of, not apologizing, but just saying that my heart was in the work and I was willing to do what it took and say what it took in order to continue moving forward. And that may have hurt a few people's feelings.
That you notice this dead air because I'm trying to think who does that, right? So I have a different opinion on that one, right? I think that if your intentions is pure and your heart is pure and someone still wants to leave you, I don't think at any point should you go back to them. I think they should do some soul searching and they should find, reason to meet with you. Your train is moving on, right? That's just
it's going to continue.
Yeah.
It's going to continue to move. However, I believe that when it comes to any form of disagreement, that both are accountable.
Okay.
And I'm not to go back and say, you know what? Well, maybe I shouldn't have said that, or maybe we should have approached it this way, and maybe the turnout would not have been the way it turned out. But I'm always kind of reassessing how I could have been better, or how I could have done better, or how. Yeah, I always take a look at me, Kevin.
Understood, but listen. I know there's some people that have thrown me under the bus, right? And I'm not looking to I look at that experience as okay. Well, I may have been thrown under the bus, but the bus didn't roll over me or didn't do significant damage. I'm not mature enough now and don't know when I would be to welcome you back in my space to talk about what went right, what went wrong, or maybe we should have said something different.
Right. Folks don't see behind the scenes.
Understood.
They don't see the late night.
Yeah.
They see the stress behind just a grassroots organization that does not have a template. Yes. You're just learning as you go along.
Yes.
They don't see the tears. They don't see the impact it has on my family, or the families, of my team members.
Yes. Understood.
But when everything comes together, Kevin, it just gives you this burst of energy that I can't even explain.
I know that's right. You are going to achieve in spite of, and you guys and your committee and your team is doing a fantastic job.
It's a feeling like no other. And I pray that, my fellow community members or those who have their own organizations, I pray they have an opportunity to experience that feeling, because I've felt it over and over and over again.
Yes.
And it makes me want to just continue. And because I haven't quit, there has been more doors are opening up for the collaborative, and I'm excited.
Now, I've got a question I want to ask you. So when you go into City Hall for this whole past month of March, in the atrium they were celebrating women, right? And you see those big cardboard. That's like a 4 by, I don't know. Well, you know how big it is, right?
Yeah, I think you're talking about the display, the Alpha Kappa Alpha sorority display that was in there too.
Yeah, but these were just not those women, but just women in general.
Okay.
Right, but you see the size of the boards, right?
Right.
I've been talking to a lot of people. I think another thing that we need to do, and maybe your organization can take this on, I would love to see your organization do research and kind of, doing some of these events, just highlight all the people of color that have come from Trenton.
Someone said that to me recently.
Yeah,
something like that. Yeah.
And I've been talking to quite a few people on my podcast, and it's like it feels good to thump your chest knowing that so and so was on TV, so and so is doing this, so and so is doing that, but they got their start in Trenton. Man, that would be an energizer in and of itself.
Yeah, that's a fantastic idea.
And that part right there doesn't cost any money. You just need permission to take their bio, their headshot, and put it on a big card like you did, and maybe say I'm going to devote maybe 30 yards outdoors to every 2 feet there'll be a placard in the stand, and you get to read about it on your own. And then at some point, as you guys generate enough income, enough fundraising dollars, you can actually have some of those folks to come back and perform or just visit. To our young folks and to our family folks in Trenton, that would give them a boost of energy to say, good things can come from Trenton. Because half the time, right, we say good things come from Trenton, but when folks get big, very rarely do they want to come back to like set up shop here. They come back to visit, but they don't come back to set up shop. That's another story.
Yeah. I know when we did the Pride Festival at Cadwater Park, we had poster boards of Black historians.
Yes.
And we posted these boards like throughout the park, and they had a little bio underneath about their impact,
Yes.
So that's something similar to that, but solely, dedicated to Trenton. Yeah.
Yeah, because that would be fantastic. And again, quite a few of the folks that really believe in Trenton and love Trenton, I talk about that with them on all my podcasts about how do we bring that energy back, because a lot of that stuff is not even in the history books.
Right.
But to have family members and to have other folks in the city of Trenton see that so and so came from Trenton and they're doing great work, so you're like, wow, that's all right.
Yeah, that's a great idea, Kevin. I like.
Yeah, I'm just echoing the thoughts of others that we've shared, together. Now, so let's do some real good stuff right now. 5 years from now, how big is the organization? And have you retired in 5 years?
I will be. I will be retired in 5 years.
Okay.
My 5-year vision for the organization is that we have our own brick and mortar location.
Awesome.
That we have paid staff.
Yes.
That our board, who have committed themselves year after year after year on a volunteer basis, that they are no longer a quote unquote working board.
Yes.
They not only serve as board members, but they chair committees.
Yes.
So they're out in these streets just as much as I am, ensuring that, our programming continues. I pray that we have, each year we have to go out for funding to support these events. It's my hope that, we have the funding to develop capacity.
Yes.
To professionally provide professional development, at no cost to each member, on the team.
Yes.
That we are known not only in Mercer County, but throughout the state of New Jersey. So I have such a vision for this organization. And I believe that everything that we have gone through thus far,
yes,
whether it's the successes or the failures, because we have failed many a time, that it's only preparing us for the greatness that's going to happen a few years from now. And I'm putting a few years on it.
Gotcha. So you're saying 3 years as opposed to 5. That's all right.
Look, I'm trying to, my job, I love my work with the youth, under the umbrella of the state. I love it. It pays my bills. It's paid my kids' college tuition, but I know that it's time for me to really invest in my passion full time.
Understood.
Mm-hmm.
Listen, I thank you for making this your passion. The work shows the enthusiasm, the excitement. It shows in all your work, and certainly the work of the team members. I just had a joke. You're not going to appreciate the joke, but what would you say if I didn't push the record on this podcast machine? What would you say?
What would I say?
Yeah, no, I did push the record though. So we are.
Look, I'm a talker. I'm a talker, and
Okay.
having a conversation about the African American Culture Collab, whether
Yes.
that record button is on or not, is worth it.
Okay. Because I'm saying, man, this is good stuff. As I'm doing podcasting, sometimes some of the conversations like so intense, right? And I'm saying to myself, did I push the record button? But I'm looking at it. It's red. It's red. Yeah.
But even if that record button wasn't pushed, I believe that you would carry the message along the right way.
Yes.
Without
Yes. I know we have time, but anything else? I've got a question, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it just came to my mind. You're from Jersey City.
Yes, I am.
Does Jersey City do something similar to this?
Oh, yes. Jersey City has a Juneteenth celebration, and we have actually connected with that organization in Jersey City.
Awesome.
They had supported in helping us with our own first flag raising for Juneteenth because they've been doing it for a number of years.
Yes.
And so they're very supportive and happy about the work we're doing here in Trenton.
Wow. So if I went to Jersey City, right, they
Mm-hmm.
probably have a plaque of you talking about the great works that you've done, and you came out of Jersey City, huh?
Well, it's my hope that I don't know if they know
Okay.
what I do here
Okay.
on a large scale in Hudson County.
Gotcha.
It's not I that for our Juneteenth event, the DJ is from Jersey City.
Gotcha.
DJ Donald Wiz.
Okay, I'm not familiar.
So, hopefully I make that connection. But
Yes.
when I graduated from Lincoln High School in Jersey City
Yes.
in 90,
Yes.
and I moved to Trenton, and I'm going to say moved to Trenton because that's what it felt like.
Yes.
I was embraced by the Trentonians that worked in the cafeteria, at our college.
Yes.
We're friends, and stay in contact to this day.
Yes.
And I just immersed myself here.
Okay.
My husband, family is from Trenton.
Yes.
He's from Trenton and Hamilton Township.
Yes.
I had my children at Helene Full Hospital and Mercer Hospital.
Yes.
I bought my first home, me and my husband, on Garfield Avenue.
Yes.
In Trenton. I've lived in Hamilton, in Ewing. So I am a part of this community, whether people realize it or not. I've been around for a long, long time.
Awesome.
But, again, stepped out of my box in 2011 to do something more.
Yeah. And so at some point there could be some deeper collaborations with the Jersey City.
That's the future vision.
Excellent.
We get a lot of recognition. People know what we're doing here.
Yes.
Whether it's in Philadelphia, we have a nice social media following. Folks from all over
Awesome.
Philadelphia, D.C., New York,
Awesome.
so different places, and our vendors come from those areas.
Awesome.
So they know the work that we do here. But I think with more funding and more support,
Yes.
because marketing alone is its own venture and committee, and branding
Yes.
branding your organization, that's a whole nother discussion,
Yes. Yes.
But I believe with, all of my team members being, working 9 to 5s and being entrepreneurs, that we're doing the best that we can with the time that we're allotted.
No,
So
this is fantastic, and the efforts are showing. What
mhm.
else? What else would you want the community to know about your organization, or to know about you and your volunteers?
I would want them to know we're not just about, the entertainment that they see, year-round
Yes.
entertainment, year-round arts and cultural experiences. But last year we provided scholarships to graduating seniors. And that was a huge highlight for me because now we're supporting our young people, in their journeys to get their college degree.
Awesome. Thank you. Awesome.
Yeah, so it's just a lot more. It's so much more to what we do outside of just, not downplaying First Fridays or Juneteenth or anything like that. But we definitely want to support, our community quality of life in so many different ways. I'm now on the advisory committee for the Delaware Raritan Basin Commission, and their focus is to engage, urban communities around environment,
Wow.
around quality of life issues,
Okay.
and that takes place in Philadelphia.
Okay.
That commission meetings. And I'm also a new board member for the New Jersey Black Women's Collective.
Wow.
And the purpose of that Black Women's Collective is collaborating and building with Black women across the state of New Jersey, right? Becoming advocates and
Yes.
Black women supporting other Black women by any means necessary,
Yes.
And so we had a launch event just recently, and it was amazing to be in the room with women of color, Black women, and they are all progressive.
Yes.
They're
Yes.
all assertive. They're all educated. They all are empowering. And so your network is vital to the progression of anything that you're doing with your business. So
Very
I'm
true.
excited.
And you should be. You are doing a great work, and every time we see you, or every time I see you, I am just so proud of you and the work you continue to do with your team and with your staff.
Thank you, Kevin. I appreciate that.
Now, so anything else you want to share with us?
So, lastly, I want to say that anything the collaborative does, whether it's on the blocks in the city of Trenton, whether it's in West Windsor, East Windsor, Hamilton, Ewing, Mercer County Festival Grounds,
Yes.
it's all done for the upliftment of my people.
Yes.
Okay?
Yes.
Again, you have to use these opportunities to get whatever gift that you have, exposed to a greater network of people.
Yes.
And so take advantage of it. We have 10 weeks at Mill Hill Park in collaboration with the city of Trenton
Yes.
and the Trenton Downtown Association to do a 10-week long concert series.
Yes.
From August to October.
And
use that venue.
And that's typically on which days?
It was going to be every Saturday.
Every Saturday. Wow.
And so I implore those who are small business owners, performers, hosts, whatever you have going on, use these type of venues to display that,
Yes.
to show that, So again, this is not just for Latarsha or Patrick or Helen or Sheila. This is for the community.
Yes.
And so now you not only have First Fridays from May to October, now you got a 10-week concert series in the fall, in addition to all the amazing work Maria Richardson is doing with the city,
Yes.
with her city events.
Awesome.
And so there's plenty to do in the city of Trenton.
Now, let me ask this question. Now, does that every Saturday or the 10-week Saturday, does one of those Saturdays include the Trenton House Music Festival?
So last year it did.
Okay.
Last year, partnered with the Trenton House Heads to do the House Music Festival in collaboration with the Levitt Amp Concert Series.
Yes.
And so, because we're moving the series to the fall, I'm assuming Mark Gibson is going to continue to have it, but it won't be in partnership with Levitt Amp because we're starting later in the year.
Got you.
Mm-hmm.
Not a problem at all. Because, we both, well, I don't know about you. I love some house music. Oh, my God.
Mm-hmm. We're actually having a House Music First Fridays in July. And so I'm very excited.
Yes.
We're going to be announcing our host and DJ very soon. But it will be a House Music First Fridays in July.
Yeah, I'm going to have to be there. Yeah, that's interesting. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I may have to do my patented two-step. Oh, well, Tarsha, I'm sorry. My apologies, please. This has been fantastic. Now, for the record, for the recording, how should people reach out to you or your organization?
Sure.
Yes.
You can reach out to the African American Culture Collaborative by visiting our website at www.taacs.com. You can email us at trentonaApride@gmail.com or call 609-474-4073.
Wow, thank you. I hear nothing but passion in your voice because you have to remember all that wonderful stuff. That's all right. I am so amazed that you have so much going on and you keep it together, and you also found time to grace this platform. So thank you. I can't thank you enough. Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. And I cannot do this without my husband.
Yes, let's give a shout out to him too. Go ahead.
Let's give a shout out to my husband, Andre Burke.
Yes.
Because while, I'm working full time and then I'm doing my community stuff, but in the meantime, he's ensuring that the home base is functioning well.
Awesome.
So, I definitely cannot do it without his support.
Awesome. So they used to say behind every successful man, there was a woman, but behind every successful woman, there's a great man holding it down. So thank you, brother.
Yeah.
I just had another thought that just came to my mind. What would it look like, and maybe you do, if you had like a mentoring or internship program?
Again, we definitely want to do that.
Okay.
I have a young lady. Yes. I just interviewed her. She's a student at Seton Hall.
Yes.
And her name is Mackenzie.
Yes.
And she will be coming on as our social media intern.
Awesome.
And we expand upon that, but again, Kevin, capacity.
Yes.
Capacity. You can have interns, but they have to be supervised.
Very true. Yeah, very true.
So it would need to be someone solely dedicated to that time of managing those interns.
Yes. Yeah, no, I love it. I think that what you're doing, your growth and what you've laid out has been fantastic.
Thank you.
Listen, okay, you've got the final word before I push the record button.
Oh, okay. Well, I just hope to see everyone, this summer at our events. Vendors, you guys come out and display your goods and make some money and network and do whatever it takes to uplift your business. If you have any questions, you can call, email, however you want to reach out. We're available. And I hope to see you all.
Fantastic. And so once this is ready to drop, I'll let you know, and we'll get this out on as many platforms as possible so folks can hear your story and they can hear you give wonderful shout outs to your staff and to your team.
Okay. Thank you so much for this opportunity. Absolutely. I really appreciate it.
Latarsha, you have been fantastic as always. Okay. Let's stay connected. Let's talk in text. Yes.
Okay. Have a good one.
Yep. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
That concludes another episode of The Entrepreneurial Enclave with Kevin Wortham, the podcast that focuses on building, maintaining, pivoting, planning, and investing in you, the entrepreneur. We hope you found this episode informative and enlightening. If you have any questions or comments about any of our episodes, please call 609-731-9311 or email kevin@minding-our-business.com. We look forward to joining us for our next one. Until next time.